Did you use that LMNT for hydrating? Did you find out that it could cause kidney strain, high blood pressure, dehydration itself, some edema? Let's talk about it. Okay, you guys, so today we're going to talk about the 5 mistakes that I made as a carnivore. And you're going to be intrigued because it may not be the same mistakes that a lot of other people found. Okay, so let's start with our first one. Not considering seasoning that I put on my food. Now, that was a big one for me because when I went carnivore, I still assumed I could use certain seasonings. I forgot all about the fact that most seasonings come from plants and they have plant toxins. So some of the things that I used was garlic powder, onion powder, peppers, onions. And onions was my favorite because what's steak without onions? You know, so I figured I could use onions, and then I found out every time I use those onions, I could feel the effects of it. So then I said, let's get a little bit smart here. Maybe if I ferment the onions, it'll be better. So what I started doing was I ferment them, you know, put them in a mason jar, put some salt water in, let it sit for about 3 days or more. What I found was, although it wasn't as bad, I could still feel the effects of it. So cut out the onions, definitely cut out the peppers. You know, I later found out that they were like, the peppers and tomatoes and stuff were nightshades and had lectins in them and stuff. And I said, well, maybe garlic. I can still do garlic. I can still do onion powder. Nope, couldn't do garlic, couldn't do onion powder. And guess what else I couldn't do? Pepper. I loved pepper. I love the pepperine that you kind of grind up yourself and you put on your... I couldn't do pepper either. So I cut that out. So the only thing that I was left that I could do was salt. Not table salt. So I bought the Celtic salt, the Redmond sea salt, and the pink salt. I use all 3 of those for different things. Like when I'm doing my my fermentation, like if I would do fermentation, I would use like my Celtic salt. Sometimes I use the pink salt as well. Number 2, not considering that some meats cause histamine. So, for example, when I first went on the carnivore diet and I'm eating I told you I started off with just bacon and eggs, and that just went so smoothly. I ate nothing but bacon and eggs for 3 whole weeks until I could get in to see my alternative healthcare doctor to find out what was going on. So, and I slowly put other meats in. So I found, well, let me tell you the meats that, let me pull up what meats ChatGPT says cause histamine. So they say aged and cured meats, ground meats, leftover meats, organ meats, fermented meats. Now for me, I could eat all meats. The only 2 that I had, one that I had slight problems with was like when I overate steak, I would feel histamine. But that wasn't a major problem. So hey, I still ate steak. But another one for me, a major one, was pork. And I thought, well, maybe it's because of how they cure pork. Maybe it's the night. Let's look up pork and see. Let's see. Pork. Let's see. I think I have. Okay. For pork, it says pork often is naturally higher in histamines. Okay. The aging process. It says preserved with nitrates and additives, which can elevate histamine content. Pork contains compounds that may promote histamine release in sensitive people. And the last one is slower digestion pork takes longer to digest. So that's what ChatGPT says about pork. So yeah, I could eat all meat except for the pork. Okay, number 3. This is my third mistake that I made. Plain water versus hydrating. Now, I'd heard, when I started carnivore, I'd heard many carnivore experts say, hydrate, 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 And I kind of didn't pay any attention because I was drinking water, I didn't check out the details. So I'm thinking, I'm drinking plain water, but drinking plain water is not the same as drinking hydrated water. So I had to learn that. So once I learned how to hydrate my water, I'd use things like drops of lemons. That really, really worked for me. I'd also use salt, not table salt, of course, because the 3 salts that I use were Celtic salt, pink Himalayan salt, and the Redmond sea salt. So I would drop a pinch of that in my water. And yeah. So let's talk about some of the conditions that you feel, the symptoms you feel when you're dehydrated. Now, for me personally, I felt muscle cramps and I felt like a light pain in my back. I felt those things. Okay, so I want to stop right here because I want to add one more thing to the list, and that's dry eyes, because that's what I experienced. And it's sort of like when you feel like there's sand in your eyes, that's called dry eyes. So I experienced that as well when I was not hydrating correctly. But let's see what ChatGPT says about it. Dry mouth is one. Pain in your kidney area, headaches, dry skin, muscle cramps, which is what I had, fatigue, dark urine, and also lightheadedness. So, number 4 mistake, not listening to your body. And I think this is a big one. A lot of times we don't pay attention to our bodies. For me, I started off in the beginning. In fact, I can go back in my little handy dandy notepad. I can go back 2 years ago and open up a page. It'll tell you what day it is, what time it is. It'll tell you my blood pressure. It'll tell you my glucose reading. It'll tell you what I ate, how I was feeling at that time. It'll tell you just any supplements I was taking at that time. I kept track of all those things because I thought it was very, very important. So it is important to kind of keep track of those things. So for example, you're having constant headaches all the time, right? You don't know what it is, but if you keep track of, maybe it's something that you're eating, is your blood pressure high? You can check those things out and kind of make a connection for yourself about what's going on with your body. So that's very important. Okay, and number 5 mistake is promoting something too quickly once you get on any type of diet. Sometimes we'll get on these diets and we'll like, oh, this is good. This is working for me. Let me promote it. Well, that's not a good idea because you haven't even taken it long enough to actually promote it. So over here, I'm not going to say you'll never find me promoting anything, but I'm not feeling comfortable with promoting anything right now over here. So with that LMNT, when I saw that, my spotty senses kind of said, no, no, no. And I don't know why. I just really did not feel comfortable with using it as a hydrating method, right? So I never used it. Number 1, I didn't want to buy it. Number 2, I was already using like the lemon, the drops of lemon, and I was using the salt to hydrate. So I didn't feel necessary. I feel it was necessary to use. So let's check out some of the controversial things that they're saying now about that. They're saying it has a high sodium content, contains 1,000 milligrams of sodium per packet, which can be risky for people that have high blood pressure. They're talking about the marketing claims, saying that it overemphasizes the need for high sodium, especially in those on low-carb diets. And it's saying that their target audience is a concern. It says LMNT is marketed widely, even to people who may not need high sodium levels. So, those are my 5 mistakes that I made when I got on the carnivore diet. So, as usual, go down there, like this video for me. And again, thank you guys for the 1,000 subscribers. So, have a blessed day. I'll see you next time.
I said, ooh, mirror, mirror on the wall, I'm not. I said, ooh, mirror, mirror, smoking body crack. I said, ooh, this body banger, bitch, you need a pop. I said, ooh, God, why I gotta be so damn fine? I said, ooh, mirror, mirror on the wall, I'm not. I said, ooh, mirror, mirror, smoking body crack.